E-governance is basically trying to address the nation with the usage of information technology. The government to citizen is something where we are going to enable the citizens to benefit from the efficient delivery of large range of public services. Citizen empowerment, that's what we have been talking about right from the time when we have been talking about Make in India and Made in India, and when we are talking about the various projects, it's all about empowering the citizen. Good morning and welcome to the second session, Chapter 2, Unit 2, 4th semester, B.BA, Good Governance in India, where we are going to speak about importance of e-governance and ICT. Now, all of us know that electronic governance or e-governance is the way how the government today is functioning. So it tries to imply the government functioning with the help of information, communication, and technology. Hence, basically, this e-governance is considered to be a smart way of working. So that's why we all regard that e-governance is basically trying to address the nation with the usage of information technology. So whenever we talk about the smart governance, we are talking about simple, moral, accountability, responsive, and a transparent government. So just look at the way how the smart governance has been talked about. It's all about being simple. It is moral, that is, it's about ethical, accountable nature, it's responsible and transparent all about. Let's move further to try to understand. What does the word simple means? I think most of us understand simple by saying that it is easy to use. But let us make it in a very simple way how the governance factor comes into picture. It implies the simplification of rules and regulations of the government, avoiding complex processes, while the application of ICT providing a user-friendly government. So this is even more interesting. It's really getting better day by day, which means to say that we talk about simplifying the process, making it even more easier for each one of us to use in the long run. Moral, which means to say that with the emergence of new system in the administrative and political machinery, with technology interventions, they improve the efficiency of government agencies. So this is also very, very important. Why? Because when we talk about morality, the ethics part of it, we mean to say that without the intervention, without the influence of political or any other background, the system tries to improve the efficiency of the government actions, followed by accountable, where we try to understand developing effective information, management systems and other performance measurement mechanisms to ensure accountability of public service. So whenever you go to a government office and you are going to make a payment or you're going to ask about a challan, about a system or any other thing, people are going to come back and ask you this question: how have you done it? What is the necessity, the need? How have you taken it forward? How have you built that system altogether? Now, when I'm going to talk about that, it becomes very, very important for all of us to understand here the word accountability, which means it is clear enough that the government acknowledges for each and every activity that you have done, that you have undertaken altogether. Followed by which, let us now try to understand how this factor comes into picture. Now, what is the smart governance? It is about being responsive, that is, it speeds up the process by streamlining them. Yes, it makes the entire system more responsive. So you don't have to wait for hours together standing in the queue. You don't have to wait for so many days in terms of understanding how it will happen, who is going to make it happen, all those factors. So it is transparent, it is faster, it is going to be more clear enough for you to understand how the system works and where we are taking it forward. Now, we are going to talk about something called as the most important thing here, the interactions of the e-governance. Now, whenever we talk about the interactions of the e-government, let us start with the basic model called as the G2C, which means government to citizen. The government to citizen is something where we are going to enable the citizens to benefit from the efficient delivery of large range of public services. So whenever we talk about the people getting benefited from the government services, that's where the G2C governance model comes into picture. Followed by, it expands the accessibility and availability of government services and improves the quality of services. That's very, very important. The primary aim is to make the government citizen friendly in nature, which means we want to understand that every service that is being provided by the government has to be citizen friendly. It has to be built in such a way that it is able to take forward and move across the entire system. Now, the interactions in e-governance, when we talk about the G2B, government to business, it enables the business community to interact with the government using the e-governance tool. The objective is to cut red tapeism, will save time, reduce the operational cost, will also create more transparent business environment while dealing with the government. So this is very, very important. Why? Because whenever we are talking about business, we do not want the interference from any of the officers, politicals, ministers, or influential person who try to create undue influence into the business and take away. Rather, we want the objective to be clear-cut. This is being developed for the people, so the business has to be clear enough that it starts responding, it starts taking over, and builds a system which is highly responsible enough in nature. The G2B initiatives help in services such as licensing, procurement, permits, revenue collection. So when we are talking about sensitive issues like licensing or the factors called as the taking of revenue, collection, and other services, this has to be made sure that the system is clear enough. The system is providing all kind of necessary features through which it can take it forward. Now let's look into the G2G. That's the next form of government. The government to government enables seamless interaction between various government entities. Now, if there are one or more state governments involved in any of the projects, we need to see that there is a seamless interaction between the state governments. Every point of time, we want the government agencies and various departments to have a free flow of information regarding the projects, regarding any kind of budgets or activities that are going on. So the government to government model is going to be a benchmarking system that is going to provide and connect people from different parts of this country and enable projects with much more transparency. The primary aim is to increase the efficiency, performance, and output, which means to say that we are talking about a system that is going to focus on the output, the efficiency, the way how the work is going to be done. Followed by which, when you start reading about the government-linked articles, all about it. Now, what is a smart governance? We also go into the factor of G2E. Now, when we start looking, this kind of interaction is between the government and its employees. The ICT tools help in making this interaction even more efficient. So when you look into the employee standpoint of view, when they want to see about PF or income tax or any other activity, the government to employee platform helps you to create it, understand, and take it forward in terms of believing how we can make this even more interactive, even more clear enough for the employee to know where his money has been transacted, what are the different platforms under which, different subheadings under which he can interact with the government. Followed by the advantages of e-governance, which we already know, but nevertheless, going forward, the first thing is that improves the delivery and efficiency of government services, which is very much needed today. Government interaction with business and other entities, which is most important, rather it's a mandatory thing. Citizen empowerment, that's what we have been talking about right from the time when we have been talking about Make in India and Made in India, and when we are talking about the various projects, it's all about empowering the citizen, more efficient government management, less corruption. This is needed in India. Why? Because we don't want people to unnecessarily take corruption to the next level by bribing people at all stages. We don't want that to happen. Increased transparency in administration, which is needed. Why? Because everybody would be aware about what is happening in the various agencies, in the various departments that are in the government, followed by greater convenience to citizens and business, and of course the cost reduction and the revenue growth cycle. So with all these things coming into picture, I think probably this is the era where we are talking about governmental agency trying to become the nodal agencies for the citizen in order to enable them and give them better services, followed by increased legitimacy of the government, flattens the organization structure. So we are not going to talk about red tapeism anymore, followed by reduced paperwork and red tapeism that we have been telling, and improved relationship between the society and government, followed by restructuring of administrative process. So with these things coming into picture, you will start seeing that you are trying to make the citizen come forward. You are trying to make the people come forward. You are trying to make the people understand that every step that is being taken, you are a part of it. You are involved with it. The society is with the government and the government understands the needs of the society. That's exactly what we want by making a digital India dream come true. So this is why I would definitely say that the empowerment in terms of knowledge, in terms of technology, in terms of communication is the need of the hour, followed by the e-governance initiative. The Government of India created a national task force on information technology and software development, which was set up in the year 1998. So nevertheless, we are not really behind. We understood the importance of ICT way back in the year 1998. That's about 25 years back, followed by which we created a center there in the 1999. A 12-point agenda listed for the e-governance was implemented, and the Information Technology Act of 2000 was enacted, amended again in the year 2008. The first National Conference States of IT Ministers arriving for the 2000 was the Common Action Plan that was devised and developed. So 25 years back, India had already envisioned itself, had already dreamt about the factor that yes, we have to become a digitized nation. We have to become a nation that is completely driven by the force of technology onto the right side and make our citizens believe in the power of technology. So that's exactly why we built this entire task force. We made every state understand the importance of IT. Followed by the government also set up the NISG, National Institute of Smart Government, followed by the e-governance products like eSeva, Andhra Pradesh, Bhumi in Karnataka, and so much on we went. The National E-Governance Plan, which was launched, it consists about 31 mission mode projects and 8 support components. The National Policy on Information Technology was adopted in the year 2012. So we have been achieving milestones after milestone in terms of the information communication technology platform. The only thing that we have been able to understand is that the link, the connection in terms of getting every state fall on a common path, on a common vision of making this nation a complete digital world, a complete digital platform, has been the most important focus for the year. Followed by the National Governance Plan, where we started providing a holistic view on initiatives across the country. There was a massive countrywide infrastructure reaching down to the remotest village. Today, if you talk about it, probably like whenever we talk about the Jio or Airtel, all the telecom companies have understood this. They have gone to the extent of connecting probably every village, every nook and corner, and made a very reliable access of internet. The government has also proposed to get in the e-Kranti, the National E-Governance Plan, under the Digital India program. So we are not leaving any stone unturned, and we want to see India becomes a leader in terms of the National E-Governance Plan. Followed by which the e-Kranti, which is one of the most dreamt or the favorite project I would talk about, is an essential pillar of the digital India, considering it the critical need for the governance, Mobile governance that we are talking about, good governance, probably why? Because every single app that you see in your mobile phone makes you digitally connected to both to the social media as well as to the world in terms of the apps and everything. And this has been the most important thing, followed by the E-Kranti framework, addresses the electronic delivery of services, portfolio of missions, more projects that have been done across various platforms. Followed by the mission mode project, which is an individual project that has been created under the national governance plan, the electronic governance, one in the area of banking, land records, and all those factors. So we have chosen certain critical areas where we try to say that they have a defined, clear objectives, implementation, and deadlines with that. So this is something like a rocket project I would like to talk about, which has got a very clear-cut landing and takeoff position, and we need to achieve those timelines within the given time frame. We have 31 mission mode projects, which means that's simply fantastic. The scope is as wide as possible, covering the state, central, and every integrated projects with this. So this is not just going to end with this 31 projects, but this is going to be the beginning for us to take us to the new leap in terms of the digital era. With this, I come to the end of today's session. I hope and believe that all the facts and figures discussed through this session would be of a great help to you, both in terms of theory as well as in the practical walk of life. In the upcoming session, we are going to learn much more about the governance and its theories in India. But until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session.